I feel like I should get sunglasses. Oh, man.
Can we do that again? Fabrication.
Oh, no, sorry.
Thanks.
You're welcome. Everything there is to know about Thule Vert.
You're fired.
Hello everyone, thanks for tuning in to this special Behind the Brand feature brought to you by Thule. In this episode, we are going multinational. We're gonna start our trip over in Sweden where Thule Verse is designed and tested, and then take a flight across the pond to Connecticut to see where Thule Verse is actually built.
Let me show you something.
All right, to get this ride going, I'm gonna hand it off to Chris. He's gonna walk you through the Hillerstorp, Sweden facilities where Thule Verse is designed and tested. And man, we've got some fun stuff in store for you.
Hey everyone, my name's Chris Ritchie and I'm the Director of Marketing for Thule North America, and we are here in Hillerstorp, Sweden at the birthplace of Thule. Let's go check it out. Khaled, tell us a little bit about why we're here in Hillerstorp.
While we're here in Hillerstorp, this is where it all started in 1942. Not bike racks at that time. It was pike traps and belt buckles and some other product. But,
The early 60s is where we kind of got into vehicle racks for the first time. What was the first product that we had for vehicles?
the first product for vehicles was a roof basket with integrated roof racks. At that point, it was a bit easier, I would say. It was rain gutters on all cars, so it was really about making one fits all.
What was the integration of bike racks, and when did that really come about?
Mid to late 90s, but then in the early 20s, it's really 2000. Then it really took off, and then up.
All right, so here we are. This is the design studio.
Yes, this
Cool.
is the design studio. This is where the team is located when we're not out in the workshop or around in the building.
So the design process seems like you have to take in so many different factors. Can you tell us a little bit about where you and your team gets inspiration from?
Partly, we have a lot of bike enthusiasts in the team, here in the design department, but also upstairs or around in the organization. We travel around to different fairs and events as well. We have, like I said before, a design team in the US that can give us input from the US perspective or the Seymour site, where Oliver and Mike and others are hardcore bike enthusiasts and also keen on getting us to know if there's anything that we haven't seen before.
Thule Verse just hit the market,
Yeah.
and we're really excited about this new platform hitch rack. Can you tell us a little bit about what that process was like for you and the team?
I think it's a merge in a way. We realize we can never make a global product because of all of these differences, but it's a good combination of the differences into one product. In the Thule Verse, we have good accessories, I think, like the loading ramp, where you can get the bike up in an easier way. Or you have the repair stand.
All right, so this must be the yellow room that you were telling me about.
It is.
Frederick, good to see you.
Hi, Chris. How are you doing?
Nice to see you.
Very good.
Hey guys, let's just get it out of the way. Why is this room yellow?
Yellow is a foundation for being creative. And this is the place where we start a lot of the creative discussions when enabling the concept, etc. for the project.
We met with Henrik. He was kind of walking us through that process of taking an idea, sketching it, bringing it to life. How does it transition from that design kind of stage that we're seeing on the wall here to now where you guys have to bring it to life?
So we have a 5-gate project model where we go from the concept phase until we have followed the product on the market for like 12 months. That's kind of the phase. And that could be, we're in the vicinity of 20, 40, 48 months, depending on the scope of the project. The thing that we have in common for all the projects is that we are working very hands-on in our product development. We do the designs, we do the FEA analysis of the designs to understand. We build the prototypes, and then we go down to the test center that you will visit later on here, and then try to figure out how does this work. All the data, all the facts that are given from the test, we could re-loop into the simulation world and use that newly gained knowledge to improve the design. And that's something that we do continuously throughout the phase.
So Frederick and Wilfred, how do the two of you work together?
When this project was in the beginning stages, Frederick was the chief engineer and I was the project manager. You met with the industrial design team before this.
Yep.
They come up with the concepts and the look, the Thule look that you have in this product. And then Frederick and the engineering team need to make that project actually function with prototypes and getting into that. The main goal of the project manager is to coordinate all this, but then once the engineering proves that this product is good to go, I need to make it into a reality with the production team in Seymour.
All right, so we've wrapped up the factory tour. Now we're headed to the Thule Test Center. Here's the man of the hour, Eric, our VP of Product Compliance. Eric, good to see you, man.
Welcome, Chris.
Thanks.
So welcome to the Global Test Center here in Hillerstorp. I promised you a small peek of what's happening behind the doors.
Awesome.
So,
Let's do it. Let's take a look.
right now we were looking into the environmental lab that we have, where we expose the products for extreme heats and cold areas and humidities. So we need to make sure that it's passing all the tests before we launch a new product. So right now we're testing down to minus 30 degrees.
Okay.
On the new bike carrier called Thule Verse.
Yep.
But of course we also test it up to 80 degrees. So somewhere in the world you can get extreme heats as well. Now we need to translate that to Fahrenheit.
Yeah.
As you can see, it's really exposed for the extreme conditions we have. We want to make sure that all the function remains independently of the climates we have out there. So one important feature on this one is the non-frame contact holder that we have. So that needs to work. Obviously it did. The pump buckles we have here needs to make sure that it passes all the testing. The keys,
Yeah.
and the locking mechanism needs to manage the cold.
Yeah, we've
resistance.
all had those days with ski box. As you get to the mountain, you know, is the
Exactly.
box even going to open? So
that's a
safe
good
to say the locks are getting tested here too.
And we're getting better and better every year. So Chris, we just saw how cold it was inside.
Yep.
I was thinking also to show how we simulate corrosion scenarios in Thule.
Okay.
So we will look at another chamber.
Yep.
Please follow. Please open up and see what we have inside. So looking at these parts, it contains a lot of metal parts inside.
Yep.
We simulate them we expose them to salt water, basically, a special salt mix, which accelerates the corrosion for metal parts. And by doing so, we can reduce the time. Instead of having the products out for real for several years, we can get the same results in just a few weeks in the chamber. In here, we have had every single metal part that we have manufactured over the last decade, at minimum once.
Really?
Yeah.
So this is basically living in a coastal town,
Having
having the rack on the back of your car.
Exactly.
This simulates, you said, years worth of use in just a few weeks.
I was thinking to show you how we simulate the sun, because the sun is actually something that degrades product more than people think. We have bought our own sun, so that we have a sun shining 24/7 a day, 365 days a year.
Cool.
This chamber simulates that exposure,
Okay.
and by doing so, we can accelerate how the UV light and the sunlight is degrading our polymer. Compared to corrosion testing, that is a few weeks, this normally takes a couple of months. We're heading to our crash lab, where we simulate real crashes. It's a full-blown crash facility that we have here, with a servo sled pushing away a sled, simulating real crashes, driven by air pressure.
Okay.
Pure air, no hydraulics.
Got it. This is not a crash impact, it's the opposite, right?
Exactly.
Okay.
So instead of accelerating to a certain speed and then hit a wall,
Yep.
we have already hit the wall and we're going backwards to a standstill.
And why do that?
It becomes much more accurate. By controlling through the brake system we have, you can really get a perfect crash pulse.
That happened in a blink.
That was a couple of milliseconds.
Yeah, just in the clip that we just saw real fast, I mean, it looked like the rack flexed up, but at the end of the day, it's keeping the bikes on the rack.
Yeah, and that's intentionally made. The designers and the structural analysts have done those simulations before. We actually verify here in real life.
All right, so that wraps up our trip to Hillerstorp, Sweden, to the birthplace of Thule. Now, next stop, we're gonna pass it over to Cole, who's gonna meet us in Seymour, Connecticut at our North American headquarters to see how Thule Verse is made, packaged, and then sent to you, the consumer.
Well, folks, we have made the trip across the pond to Seymour, Connecticut to see more about what the Thule Group is doing here in North America.
We are at Thule's North American headquarters in Seymour, Connecticut. And what you're gonna see here today is where the vast majority of our rack product production happens. We've been in this facility since 1992. You've seen in Hillerstorp now where the product is designed and tested, and now it comes to Connecticut where the product is manufactured, packaged up, and sent out the door to our customers.
So any rack on a consumer's truck in North America is produced here.
Yeah, pretty much. The vast majority of those racks are produced here in North America.
Very cool. You're gonna surprise him. I also hear you are Thule's lead singer. Is that correct? Is that something we want to bring up?
We did a video back in the day called something like "We Love the Thule World." We love our cargo.
We love to build strong bonds.
I just am not sure that the sound I imagine is coming out of my mouth is the same sound that shows up on camera. Boom diada, boom diada, boom diada, boom.
All right, so we are on to our first stop of this glorious tour. What are we walking into down here?
So we're heading down to our fabrication facility first. This is where all of our raw materials like steel will arrive, cut and welded, and these materials are prepared to come up to the assembly facility here.
Okay. Stu, great to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
I see quite a bit of raw material back here. I'm guessing that stuff turns into racks?
Absolutely.
How many different types of tube shapes are here? I'm seeing quite a few different ones.
Probably about 20 different tube shapes that we utilize to build different racks.
And they're all in this, looks like the same length? Like, is that 20?
Yep, they're all 24-foot lengths.
Wow. How many different stations for this process from raw material to ready to be assembled are there?
There's actually only 2 for this one.
Oh, wow.
So we do laser cutting.
Okay.
We get the tubes ready, and then they go over and they get welded.
Got it. And then they have powder here also?
No, we have a local supplier that does all of our powder coating.
Okay.
So they get sent out, they get powder coated, and then they come back.
A welding ninja.
Welding ninja.
And those brackets are what's getting welded onto this to then be mounted.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yes.
Cool.
So we have 10 welding robots and 12 arms. And basically each of these get fixtures for the different components to make the different assemblies.
How long have the racks been made in the US?
We've been making racks in general for Thule since 1992.
I didn't know I was getting new riding glasses on this trip. You mentioned that Thule Verse is assembled here. Is that the case with all the other products for North America as well?
We make Thule Verse here, some other bike carriers that we make, as well as kayak carriers and ski racks.
I think it's really cool thinking now at home I have the Thule Verse on my truck, that it was here. Like, it's just cool to see where these products come from and how they're put together.
Yeah, definitely.
So we've seen how this stuff is made. What's the next step in the process in getting this on a customer's vehicle?
So the next step, the parts come back from powder coating, and we start by assembling the bike arms, which is the core part of the J-hook. So we've taken and we've developed a new hook design for the Verse.
That's this piece over here, correct?
Correct. So the arm gets attached to the wheel tray. We do a little test to make sure that it rotates okay.
And each one gets tested.
Each one gets tested, make sure that it ratchets and stays, and then it gets put in the box that just showed up.
So is this something you have produced in-house to test? And exactly what are you testing? Is it a force reduction or the force of being able to apply?
So we're testing, first we're making sure that we're building a left and a right. Okay. So this fixture will do both. And then we test the torque on the bolts to make sure that when you get that ratchet arm and you're using it, that it has a certain amount of force on it, which is super important.
How many workers usually on a shift full time here?
40 people.
Wow, okay. Wow. This rack might just be going to your house, you never know. This is the final step in the process of the Thule Verse getting to the consumer. We've seen it designed, tested, produced or fabricated, assembled. I even helped with assembly. It might have been just a cardboard box, but I put my hands on it. And the next step is getting out to the local dealer and then onto the back of your truck for all your adventures.
We developed this marketing studio during the pandemic, actually, because we wanted to still be able to host sales meetings and virtual trainings. So we kind of put everything online and started hosting those here. And we really wanted to have a professional, well-lit space to really be able to show our product and really kind of have a professional backdrop.
This folds out of a hitch mount. Like, you put it on the back of your car and you have a place to sleep. How do I turn the lights off in here? So we're here with Oliver. He is the product manager for Hitch Bike Racks, a transplant from Sweden here to Connecticut. Tell us a little bit more about what you do and what it's taken to get Thule Verse to market.
It's been quite a journey. You know, it's easy to build a bike rack, but it's something completely different to build or create a bike rack that's both safe, durable, and easy to use. And I mean, as you've seen, it takes a lot of people to come together and to create something like that.
A lot of people don't realize how much testing you actually put into these at extremely high levels. It's not just throw it on, drive down the street, oh, it doesn't bounce, we're good to go. Like, it's very in-depth.
Absolutely, it's rigorously tested, that's for sure.
Well, folks, we have learned everything there is to know about Thule Verse. And from the beginning of the design, the testing, assembly, all the steps that it takes to get you a rack and out on the trails, I think it's about time we hit the trails, test the rack out, and enjoy a beautiful day here in Connecticut.
You're running a very loose lock ring.
Yeah. Look at that. See, that's for your limp-legged riding style. I think you're getting a little bit caught up in the whole full biking thing. This is an underbike. All right. These are prime features that you want for an underbiking session.
Rockhouse is our local trail here in Oxford.
Nice.
Sweet, yeah.
Beautifully organized bag. Check that out. That is pretty slick. Well, folks, thanks for tuning in this Behind the Brand feature. Big thanks to Thule for making it happen and giving us the experience of learning all about the Thule Verse and what it took to bring this thing to market. If you have any questions about the product, go ahead in the comments below. If you're interested in checking out, we will leave a link in the description for you to explore the Thule Verse for yourself. And until next time, we'll catch you out on the trails.